I want to ask you, like, how can coaches make their feedback more concise, impactful, and easy for players to absorb?
I believe external cues, which
Yeah.
means something that is referring to outside of your body, that could come in different forms. It could, for instance, be an external cue that is visual in terms of saying, well, Mirban, in the next 2 minutes, what I want you to focus on is hitting half a meter above the net, or
Mm.
we throw down some yellow throw down lines, and this is where you ought to be aiming for. Then it could be in the form of action verbs in terms of explode off the ground. It could be in the language of someone like Louis Kaya, the British coaching legend, or I think actually he's Canadian by origin, but he's coaching for the LTA. So he has a whole language in terms of volleys that could be like try to tap the volley, catch the volley. And I think what that kind of language is eliciting is the feeling that we ought to feel once we do it. And if we focus too specifically internally on a specific body part, then we know, both from practical experience, but also from science across sports, that there is too big of a risk for paralysis by analysis. So action verbs or analogies that is relevant to the player that you're coaching. So those would be collaborative. I could say, well, push more on the left leg. But what I did was I said to this player, hey, do you like apples? And luckily the player said, yes, I do. And then I said, well, do you believe that the best apples are the ones that are lowest in the tree or highest in the tree? I don't know the answer, but I was kind of implying that it's the ones high up in the tree. And the player said, I think it's the one highest up in the tree. I said, I think so because they are the best protected. And then I said to the player, okay, so next time you serve, why don't you go for the best apples in the tree? Really try to reach to the highest and best apples. That was everything that I said. The reasoning being that we're not creating this paralysis by analysis of over-focusing on that left leg. And when you are out in a tense situation at tournaments, jumping into the pool or reaching the highest apple in the tree, that's easy to say, it's quick, and the player knows exactly what we're talking about. But there's also something about the whole atmosphere between player and coach, where action verbs and external cues in the form of analogies oftentimes both work better in terms of acute learning, but also performance under pressure.